안녕하세요, 여러분. 닥조입니다. Hey there, cool kids and chickens. It's your boy Clark, and today I want to bring you some Pokemon Go basics. Before we get started, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so you're able to get future content. I appreciate the support in advance. And what I have been getting a lot lately is a lot of how do you get better at Pokemon Go? Well, Pokemon Go isn't really too complicated, but one thing that I always tell people first is know your Pokemon types. This becomes really handy when it comes to battling gyms, battling raids, battling Go Rocket leaders, and PvP battles for GBL and Sylph League. So my first topic on our how-tos is going to be about Pokemon types, and so I've created this training module to teach you a little bit more about Pokemon and their typing. So at the end of this episode, you're going to have a quiz. Trust me, it's not going to be too crazy complicated, and I think you're going to really enjoy it because all the answers are going to be within this video. What you're going to learn here are how many types there are in Pokemon, what is a weakness, what is neutral damage, what is a resistance, what is a dual type Pokemon, and also what are double weaknesses. What does that mean? So let's go ahead and get started and learn more about Pokemon and types. Our first topic is how many types are there? There are 18 unique types in Pokemon Go. Take a look here at this graphic here where it has all the types. How in the world are we supposed to know all this? Basic, you just kind of got to study them, and then through experience you're going to learn them all. But there's 18. You got the elementals, you got the dark, you got the fighters. So get used to learning all about these Pokemon types because in later sessions we're going to learn about each one and what Pokemon we're going to want for them, how good they are, what moves they got, and what they're weak to. Let's go ahead and talk about what is a weakness. So let's talk about weaknesses. What is a weakness? Many of us are very familiar with water versus fire, grass versus water. What exactly is a weakness? A weakness is a vulnerability that a Pokemon has. Now, when it's hit with that type of counter, it's going to take extra damage. So in the graphic here, we have a fairy type Pokemon. If you're fighting against fairies, you're going to want to bring poison and steel to the fight. But adversely, if you're fighting against a Pokemon like a fairy type, it's also going to have its fair amount of resistances. So let's talk about that. So now we're going to be talking about resistances, so it's going to be damage received that has reduced effectiveness. So again, let's take a look at these fairies. If you're not bringing a poison or a steel type counter against it, make sure you avoid these moves as much as possible. Don't bring fighting, don't bring bug, don't bring dark, and don't bring dragon. These are moves that fairy type Pokemon is going to be resisting. Look at that. It's going to be taking almost half as much damage. But also look at dragons. We resist dragons like crazy if we're a fairy type. So if you're a fairy type and you see a dragon out there, booyah, you're going to be resisting and you're going to be hitting them with super effective. Really cool. Now let's just say, for example, you're pinned against the fairy type. You don't have steel, you don't have poison. You're going to be wanting to bring in something to the fight that brings neutral damage. Let's go over neutral damage. Neutral damage is just basically what it sounds like. It's not very good, but it's not very bad. So it's not going to be resisted, nor is it super effective. Again, let's go ahead and look at our fairy types. Poison and steel, out the window. But we're definitely not going to be bringing bug, fighting, dark, or dragons. We want to be dealing as much damage as possible, but we're going to have to go through the neutral route, which there are a lot of Pokemon where you're able to get a lot of good generalists out there that are going to be able to put a lot of damage out there. Let's just say that you're going into a raid or a gym and you don't have the right counters, and let's say you got yourself a Mewtwo. Well, Mewtwo is a great generalist and is going to be able to put out a ton of damage versus somebody. Now, we talked about weaknesses, we talked about resistances, we talked about neutral damage. Let's talk about dual type Pokemon. Dual type Pokemon? Yes, let's talk about it. A dual type Pokemon is a Pokemon that has more than one type. So we got ourselves, yet again, our fairy type Pokemon. So one fairy type Pokemon that is very, very infamous in Pokemon Go is Togekiss. Togekiss is a fairy flying Pokemon. And let's look at the graphic here and see what are the weaknesses and resistances now that Togekiss has, because it has an extra typing into it. So you can see here with our weaknesses, you got the normal poison steel weakness that it has because of its fairy, but it's also got some extra weaknesses now because of that flying type. So those rocks, those ices, and those electric types are gonna add more super effective damage. But on the flip side, sometimes when it comes with an extra type, you get more weaknesses, but you're also gonna be getting more resistances as well. Take a look over here at our resistances now that we're not going to be taking as much super effective damage from. So we had fighting, we had dark, we had dragon, we had bug, but now we've added 2 more resistances in grass and ground. And not only that, but ground for a flying type is also double resisted. Even better. So if you're a Togekiss and you're fighting against a ground dragon, ooh, Garchomp, you are gonna totally win that matchup. Very cool. So we talked about dual type weaknesses and resistances, but let's talk about what a dual weakness is. So a dual weakness or a double weakness is a dual type Pokemon when it has a common weakness that's going to take double effective damage. That is like super duper effective damage. Let's take a look at our friend Cottony, our little fairy grass friend. This guy, he's double weak to, oh my goodness, poison. Ooh, when you're bringing in a Cottony and your opponent has a poison, get out of dodge as fast as you can. Run away! Because you're gonna be dead really, really quick. Now, you still get those other weaknesses to steel and flying and ice and fire. Now fire is a weakness, but as you can see, dual type Pokemon, if you're able to find that double weakness, you're in trouble. That's why when you're going to raids against someone like a Rayquaza, you want to bring ice because it's a fire dragon. I mean, not a fire dragon, it's a dragon flying. And flying and dragons are weak to ice, therefore you're able to put out more damage. Super duper duper effective damage versus a Rayquaza. Alright, I think you know what time it is. It's time for the quiz. I hope you studied hard. I hope you're able to review this as well so that you're able to ace that quiz. Go ahead and put in the comments how well you did. Let's see how you did. Thank you and bye-bye.